What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Move to Sticks, presented by Castrol Edge, and welcome back into the body shop. Last week, we took the Jacksonville Jaguars into the body shop, and we tried to get that car fixed, Buck. We still have some work to do there. Another car that needs a lot of work is the car that is the New York Jets, Buck. So what do you say we take the Jets inside the body shop today and start with the little tinkering they've already done? They announced they put the franchise tag on Marcus May, their safety.
Hey, Marcus May played like a monster for them last year. Stepped in for Jamal Adams, took over the leadership responsibilities, but also the playmaking responsibility. To bring him back on the franchise tag, it gives you a playmaker and a leader in the back end. They needed to retain his services. Did a good job of them by keeping him.
Yeah, good football player. They can't afford to be losing many of those. This is a huge offseason for the Jets. And let's jump into it here. Let's start off here with our next-gen stats powered by Amazon Web Services. I think, look, the elephant in the room, you've got to figure out the quarterback position. That's the decision they have. When you look at Sam Darnold last year, and you see the numbers here on the bottom of the screen, Buck, look, he was the lowest rated passer in the National Football League. He also had some struggles even when he was kept clean inside the pocket. So it's a tough decision for them. Do you try and incorporate Sam with the new coaching staff and think he can be a fit there, or do you try and make a move here? So a big decision to be made here with the number 2 pick.
Yeah, big decision to be made, but DJ, it's less about Sam Darnold and more about the blueprint to go to the Super Bowl. 8 quarterbacks in the last 10 Super Bowls have been on original rookie contracts. I think you have to make the move and go in the draft, see if you can find your franchise guy.
Yeah, we talk about the draft being the engine here. So that's the first thing we're going to do here in the body shop is fix the engine. You mentioned the money. Let me lay that out for you. Sam Darnold is going to make around 4.8 this year. So let's round that up to 5. He would get $20 million the following year on a 5th-year option, around $30 million if you wanted to franchise him after that. So that's 3 years, $18.3 million. The guy you're looking at right here, Zach Wilson, who we have them taking over 4 years before he gets to his 5th-year option, talking about 8.7 average per year. So you take Zach Wilson, you free up $10 million, and you can go do some other shopping as well. But this guy fits beautifully into this offense.
He absolutely does fit into this offense. And this offense is one that makes the game very easy for the quarterback. Zach Wilson not only is a talented thrower, but he's athletic enough to threaten you on the perimeter. When you think about the play passes, the stretch bootleg action that are really key components to this offense, I would expect Zach Wilson to succeed in this offense if given the opportunity.
Yeah, we make some wild plays. And this is where let's start having some fun here. Let's go ideal offseason, because I think there's a chance when you look at teams picking 8, 9, and 12, you look at Carolina, you look at Denver, you look at San Francisco. I think all 3 of those teams could be in on Sam Darnold. So if you're the Jets, you try and auction off Sam Darnold at this point in time, you're not going to get one of those picks in the first round straight up for Sam Darnold. That's not happening. But I do think it's reasonable. You could take your pick at the top of the 2nd round, package it with Sam Darnold, and potentially get up to 12, 9, or maybe even 8. So let's shoot for it here. Let's make that trade. Sam Darnold, pick 34, and that goes to the Carolina Panthers. To the Denver Broncos for pick number 9. Now the Jets are sitting pretty, Buck. They've got 2 top 10 picks, and now they can address the offensive line.
Yeah, the way you want to address the offensive line is you want to put a right tackle opposite of Mekhi Becton. So what about Rashawn Slater from Northwestern? He's a guy that can play anywhere on this offensive line, but he could be a premier right tackle. You put him opposite Mekhi Becton, you have the edges protected, but you also have the ability to push people off the ball. You want to be able to run the football. You now have a fortress in front of your quarterback. You've really made a lot of improvements by simply making a good pick to get one of the best, if not the best, edge block in the draft.
I wouldn't hate it if they lined him up right next to Mekhi Becton either at left guard, Buck, and you can be a left-handed run team there with those 2 guys playing next to each other. It'd be a lot of fun. They still have pick number 23. That's the one they got from the Seattle Seahawks. This is a team, Buck, that has needs all over the defense, edge rusher, and at the corner position.
Yeah, look, they need a big-time corner to play in the division where they're playing in, where you're beginning to see quarterback play pop up. Josh Allen, you would like to think that Tua Tagovailoa may emerge in year 2. So let's get somebody that can do it. J.C. Horn from South Carolina would be a nice pick. Dynamic athlete, playmaker, tough, physical, does a great job of getting his hands on the ball. He could come in, and you would like to think day 1, he steps into the lineup and adds some sauce and sizzle to this defense.
Yeah, look, we'll see if he can get there to pick 23. Again, this is our optimistic view of fixing the vehicle that is the New York Jets. Let's get to some add-ons here. We talked about fixing the engine with the draft. The add-ons come via free agency. This team has a lot of money to spend. They kind of took their medicine last year to free themselves up this year. And we look out at some of the positions of need. We still need an edge rusher. We still need to complement this receiving core. They got some good pieces there, but need some more as well. What do you think here in free agency?
Well, I think we have to go both ways. I think offensively, it's about making sure that you have one of those playmakers, because the staff coming over from San Francisco, they understand the value of a wingback. How about Curtis Samuel coming over from the Carolina Panthers? Terrific playmaker, had over 1,000 scrimmage yards. You can use him a variety of different ways, much like the Niners were able to use Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Curtis Samuel is certainly in that area. And then you've talked about an edge rusher, maybe Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree, even though he's coming off that ACL, he gives you a dynamic athlete off the edge. He's coming to his own as a pass rusher over the last couple of years. Helps the Jets because they have to find somebody who can get after the pass.
Yeah, they've got to address that pass rusher, whether they do that with their draft picks or in free agency. That has to be accomplished in this offseason. The next thing we want to do, Buck, we want to upgrade something here. And I think maybe we can even do it with the guy you just talked about there in Curtis Samuel. We've got to upgrade the run game. And when you look back at this next-gen stat from last year, Frank Gore, when you look at the yards over expected, so the yards you're expected to get, how much more do you get? He was minus 110 yards, which was the worst in the league last year. So look, he is a Hall of Famer. He's had a great career. They need some youth. They need some fresh legs back there. And I'm not so sure Curtis Samuel, you couldn't throw him back there and he'd get you 1,000 yards back there as a running back.
Yeah, he absolutely would be able to contribute, to be able to add to the run game. But how about looking at what they already have in La'Mical Pirine? La'Mical Pirine last year, he had about 250, 260 yards, only averaged 3.6 per carry. But what we know about this run game that Robert Saleh and his staff is bringing over, it is one that really can create and elevate the players that are one-cut runners. Pirine is a one-cut runner who would certainly excel in a scheme like this.
Yeah, I liked what I saw last year. Let's give him some more opportunities. I like that. All right, let's boost something up. We look at what we already have. We want to boost it up. You talked about Pirine. Man, I look at Quinnen Williams and the way he came on at the end of the year last year, and then I look at Robert Saleh and that scheme coming over where they are going to let these dudes attack and get upfield. Man, I think you're going to see a huge breakout year here from Quinnen Williams, coming off a solid year last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year was more of a breakout year. We saw the light really come on the last half of the season, made a ton of plays, made impact plays at the line of scrimmage. Well, now you put him in a scheme that is really tailored to his talents, meaning he can just play. He can come up the field, play aggressively, utilize his hands, his combination of athleticism and power to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. The Jets need him to be the premier player on that front line. This scheme could help him kind of meet those goals and expectations.
Yeah, you saw the numbers there at the bottom of the screen. The pressure rate was not great here for the Jets, but man, Quinnen Williams was outstanding. 7 sacks last year. I think he gets in the double digits this year. Could have made a strong case for the Pro Bowl last year. I think he gets one this year. He's a phenomenal talent, and I think you're going to see a big year from Quinnen Williams in this scheme.